As you know, another presidential election is upon us. What you may not know is that when you go to the polls, you will see ballot questions proposed to voters on a state level. In 6 states, including Massachusetts, New York, and Pennsylvania, you will see the question asking whether or not we should legalize medical marijuana. Now, it is important to note that if this does in fact pass, the federal government will still enforce the laws pertaining to possession, distribution, and cultivation of marijuana. Why does the government have such a hateful attitude towards marijuana? Nicotine and alcohol are far worse things for us, and they're legal. Legalizing and taxing marijuana will give our failing economy an extra boost. It also helps patients cope with debilitating diseases. The current prohibition of marijuana is dumbfounded. Prohibition has done nothing and will do nothing to cease the use of marijuana. Prohibition simply doesn't work. An excellent example of this would be the Prohibition Act of the 1920s, a failed effort to ban alcohol in the United States. Banning something doesn't make the problem go away. In fact, all the prohibition did was create an underground culture based on alcohol. The use of marijuana is creating the same exact thing. Besides, prohibition is based on lies and scare tactics. Have any of you ever seen the movie Reefer Madness? I encourage you to see this movie. The fact is, we don't know what the long-term effects of marijuana use is on our bodies. The government and anti-marijuana groups used bits of scientific findings to back their scapegoating on the effects of marijuana and marijuana itself in an effort to keep it illegal. Why would the government do this? I couldn't find a logical reason, so my only guess is that it's just easier to keep things the status quo. What we do know is that the consumption of marijuana is far less dangerous than other drugs. As I've said, we don't know all there is to know about marijuana, but what we do know is that it has been found to be non-toxic to humans, unlike nicotine or alcohol. In addition, marijuana is not addictive, and it is almost impossible to overdose as a result of its use. Did you know that marijuana, in fact, has positive attributes? It provides relief from pain, nausea, and depression. According to SafeChoice.org, people who smoke marijuana prefer it to the consumption of alcohol, mainly due to its low dependency and mild side effects. These side effects fade over time, but if they don't, it is easy to stop using the drug. In fact, the only thing you have to worry about is getting the munchies, or worse, being arrested. The reason marijuana should be legalized comes down to money. Think about it. If we were to legalize it, we would spend far less money on justice, and our failing economy would get an added boost. Did you know that according to normal.org, that over 850,000 arrests were made in 2010 on marijuana-related offenses? 88% of those were for possession only. Shouldn't our law enforcement be focused on more serious crimes like violence, abuse, terrorism, or even financial fraud? Legalization would free up our court systems to prosecute more serious offenses. If marijuana were legalized and taxed, it would provide a huge boost to the government's income stream. It may even lead to tax cuts. Wishful thinking. But seriously, it may not fix all the economic problems we're faced with today, but it will certainly help move us in a positive direction. The way I see it, there was a time we thought the Earth was the center of the universe, and anyone who opposed that thought was ostracized. In other words, the negative attitude towards marijuana is based on ignorance. The fact is and will remain that marijuana is not going away. People are going to cultivate it, consume it, and possess it in this country, legally or illegally. We may as well legalize it and reap its rewards. Thank you.